Welcome back to Do-It-Yourself Full Range Hi-Fi Speakers. So today we're doing part one of a new Class D amp build, following on from my little Class D Mark 1, which sold really quickly and I was very pleased. But this one is going to have a built-in power supply and it's going to have a built-in main power switch. Just a couple of little niggly things I found with the first build. So hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. Welcome back to Do It Yourself Full Range Hi-Fi Stereo Speakers. And today is part one, I'm guessing, of my new Class D amplifier build. And so what I've got here is the amplifier on the right, and on the left is the power supply. Now, I've been a very, very patient boy, and I haven't even opened these yet. So normally, these get ripped open within about 60 seconds of me receiving these. But today, I had to wait till I completed another project, which was my timber drill press clamp. And I've almost finished that. All right, here's the, this is pretty hard. It's just doing one-handed, so maybe I should have just cut these beforehand. Anyhow, all right, there's the power supply. Nice couple of big heat sinks on that. It cost me about $13 Australian from eBay. It was an Australian-based importer, so which is good because those come in a week or so because they're already in the country. I like this little one. It's got some good size components and capacitors and a reasonable size transformer there. You can see 24 volt 4 amps. That should be well and truly sufficient power for this little Class D amp. And we're going to make sure that our cabinet has sufficient ventilation to provide cool air to those heat sinks. And so we've got, looks like DC power out at one end and AC power in. I'm guessing that's what that is at this end. And that's a nice little unit. Oh, I've also found somewhere, I bought a little switch, main switch for the 240 volt power going into this, and that'll be mounted on the front panel. So we no longer have that really annoying laptop power supply plug that plugs into the back of the amplifier, and you know, sparks and smoke and all sorts of rubbish going on. So all right, let me just pause this for a second and I'll whip open the bag with the amplifier. Hang on. So nice little box, 2.1 something something in Chinese, made in China. Again, this came from one of the Australian importers, so it was fairly quick to come. And inside, so I haven't opened this before, so you can see how it's packaged. We've got some nice bubble wrap around the amp board itself. ZKTB21. Okay, we've got a bag of knobs and some sort of a connector there, and little miniature screwdriver. And then, last but not least, we have a top plate for the little plastic chassis you get with these, and some little standoff screws. Probably going to need to buy some more of these just to assist with the mounting into the timber casing which I'm going to build. Right, give me a second, I'll whip these out of these bags. So we're back, and this is what's inside the bubble wrap. Now this is a slightly different amp than the last one I had. So interestingly, the volume control seems to have an on-off switch, which might be handy. So then we've got the bass control here. Oh, also it's not an infinitely variable volume control. It only turns up and then stops. Whereas the last one I had was just one of those spinny, clicky volume knobs. And then we've got treble, then we've got subwoofer volume and subwoofer frequency. What's on the back? On the back we have, similar to what we had before, we had the 3.5mm aux in. We had there's a Bluetooth antenna, sort of part of the circuit board, I think. You can see BT1 there, and then we've got our speaker outs, and then we've got a So what I'm attempting to do with this exercise here is to place the amp and the power supply in a kind of easy layout that works for both air circulation, the positioning of the switch and the incoming power, and working out the overall dimensions. So I wanted to have the main volume in the middle of the cabinet. Now that's kind of going to be dictated somewhat by the length of this. I tried putting this around the other way, but it was too long in that direction, because you can see how it's actually longer than the amp board. And so if I made the cabinet further out to accommodate the power supply, I was going to have trouble recessing the back of the top panel in for the speaker terminal screws. So I decided I'd turn it around this way. Okay, and so we've got DC out, which will come over to DC in on the amp, and also what I'm going to do is hardwire that to those two terminals. That one's positive and that one's negative as far as I've been able to work out so far, and clearly we can see positive and negative here, no drama. What I don't know, and I've reached out to the supplier, is with the AC in here, I don't know which one is the active and which one is the neutral. So there's no plus or minus or A or N showing here, active or ground. So I don't know which is which here. So I've had to ask that. If anyone knows, put the answer in the comments. And then we've got the the big 240 volt switch on the front here, which is sort of probably going to overlap a little bit with the board just here, but I've got a little bit of latitude there. I also going to stand these, there's a bit of an overlap here, as you can see, to try and minimize the overall width of this. So, and I also want to have this standing up about 1 centimetre off the bottom just for airflow, and so this one will stand up just slightly below that, just so we don't clash at this point here. And then we've got the incoming 240 volt on the back here, which then has to run over to here. As far as I know, only the active and the neutral need to be fed in, only not the earth. There's no metal cabinet that requires earthing, so I don't think I need to consider connecting the earth to anything. I don't think you're going to be getting any electrical shocks from the timber cabinet. Okay, so that's about it. The next thing I've got to work out is the timber joints going around the sides, the back. If there is any sort of a back panel, there was going to have to be at least from here to here, back panel. This I could probably leave open, which would help with airflow, but would be problematic for vermin access. Something we have to think about. And then I want the front fascia panel to be solid from top to bottom, left to right. So like with no, I don't want to see the side panel or the top panel or the bottom panel from the front. They'll be completely hidden by the fascia panel. And then we'll probably have the base panel with the sides coming up off that. And then I want the lid to simply bolt down onto the sides, not glue down. Are you with me? So we can access for maintenance in the future, just like a normal amplifier. That's it for now. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. Also, before I end this, I just thought I'd do a little sound test on the unit, and it worked very well, sounded good. The Bluetooth was very easy to connect to, so I recommend you do the same before you get too far into your build. Make sure the amp is working as it should. Sorry if this has been a little long, but there's a fair bit in this, and I'm planning to have the build video out in about 2 weeks. I'm not going to rush it, so I want to do a good job with it, and so look out for that.